good morning and welcome back to...
Morning.
Hello, good afternoon, good evening. Well, I don't know what time you guys will be watching this. It's Friday. So this is day
6.
Day 6. Today's day 6. We took everything home on the Sunday night. So we're back here an extra hour early to set everything up. So everything's where it needs to be and where it should be. I had to go, well, yesterday I made some more lip balms and I had to go and pick the stickers up for them like 10 minutes before we got here, before they closed. So I will put you guys on time lapse and set everything up. It's nearly 6 o'clock and apparently it's supposed to stop raining, but I don't believe them. We've managed to get everything set up. So everything's set up. It's 6 o'clock. People are coming out, but it's raining. But I hope it's going to clear up. They give
it nice tomorrow.
Yeah, they give it nice for Saturday and Sunday.
So come on down.
Yeah, come and say hello. Come and see us. Let's just hope the rain stops. There are people out. It's not the nicest weather to want to go Christmas shopping in. So I might get to wander down and look at the other huts, dependent on the quantity of people that come by. Okay, I will turn the light on.
Oh, very bright. Thank you.
A little bit of video inception.
Cool. I think we'll take a little shot of the front and then...
I can hear another band playing, so let's go out there and show you what's happening.
É mais fácil gostar. O que é que você acha? É fácil gostar, ok? É no seu marido. Não, você fica quente, uma brasa.
Good morning. The girls have gone off to CB again. It is Sunday today, so they've gone off. I think it's a 10 till 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. session today at the market, and then there's a break for about 3 or 4 days, and then we go back again. So I'm just off up to do the goats. As you can see, it's very overcast. Fresh growth on the orange trees. The oranges are ripening now, so they'll be ready to pick. Same as the lemons. I think actually that tree is a good example of what the goats do to it. See all the branches are pulled down, the leaves are nipped off the ends. We really got to manage them when they're in this terrace. But the grass is growing well, and this is a good terrace. I don't actually need to really sow this. I want to sow something else in it, but naturally what grows is very good for the goats. I think sometimes some of you lot must think I'm don't know, a bit negative or a bit down all the time. No, I'm not. I'm a really positive person. But when you've been here 8 years and you came here with plans and lots of money that was all taken away from you, and you keep struggling through, and then I've just come up here to do the goats, and I've just found this. Jesus. I shouldn't really stand on the edge of this. It's all collapsed. Bloody wall's collapsed. It's fucking peeling out there. And the reason why I think is this elderberry, oh, what is it? Elderberry. Oh, I can't think of the name. You make champagne from it. Elderflower. I've tried to kill that growing out of that wall there for many years because it's growing out of the wall. I think that hasn't helped. That ceramic pipe there has actually sat into the wall. Actually sat into the wall there. So if the water comes down on the grass, it's got somewhere to go. It doesn't go down the back of the walls to wash them out. Yeah, this is really soft. I'm pressing with my foot here and it's really soft. So, but I don't believe that. And I now know what will happen. The goats will start trying to use that as a ramp, and they'll destroy it even more if I don't fix it quickly. So, sometimes it's one step forward and half a dozen back. It's actually really upsetting me because the farm is got lots of problems like this, and to me it's like it's collapsing around my ears. And the way I feel about the farm, the fact that I know the people that lived here, I know the daughter of the old owner, Signor Souza. I have a lot of pride in this farm to actually keep it maintained and all the rest of it. When the fire came, yeah, that kind of broke my heart, because I let this farm burn during my watch, and it's affected me quite badly in a way. I feel like I let some of the people down that lived here before, all their hard work, and the fire came. These walls are beautiful, and unfortunately they take a long time to rebuild these, because I'm going to have to pick away. I can see that wall is kinked there. Jesus. Yeah. Broken away at least to there, which I can see. So you know I'm going to have to pick back into here. Oh, I don't believe it. It's pulled right away from that post. That concrete there was touching that wooden post. I better move this. And with all the rain coming, I'm just gonna have to shut that out and carry on. That was bad enough last year, but it's tiny. It's very shallow. That wall's 10 feet high. Hasn't gone all the way down, but and I was going to walk up here with the camera. The pigs have been in here, I was going to show you the terrace down here. I mean, look, the wild boar have been, they're not worried about our house being there. They come right under the orange trees at night. They're destroying the other terraces down there. They've been through here, look, you can see where they've cleaned it all up. The place is looking really bedraggled at this time of year. It's great because everything grows, but it all grows so quickly. And look, all this had grass growing in it. I had all this cork branches all in a pile. They've knocked that everywhere. Oh dear. More pig. Well, I wanted to show you what they did up here. I think I had about 3 or 4 bags. More pigs. I had about 3 or 4 bags of cement left over from when we were last working on the milking parlour, under plastic, on a pallet. Boar have pulled the plastic off. But I've been tropping. It might not look a lot on camera, but it's quite deep what they do. That wasn't like that when we bought the farm. And look at this plastic. That was probably 3 bags of cement. They pulled the plastic off. The cement went hard because it was raining. And this is not our goats. That is the pig. The pigs are eating the blocks of cement. So I kind of hope you get a blocked tummy. Look, this is the... They've been right up here. I mean, sometimes those things like that wall, they make me feel like I want to give up. I started work when I was at school. Started making antique coffee, reproduction coffee trays with my dad. We sold those all over the world actually, Bergdorf and Goodman's in America, Harrods. In fact, we even had our trays in the main window at Harrods, which is that's quite an achievement to get your product in the main window of Harrods. So I've worked all my life, and I make a lot of things I like. I'm very, very lucky, and I'm very lucky. I've got good hands. I've always been able to turn my hand to many things and make it work. But here I just feel like I'm failing all the time, and that doesn't do you a lot of good. And it's a big place, you know. Oh man, am I ever going to get this place straight? I really struggle to find help around here because nobody really wants to help. I mean, we could do with a guy to help us with the goats, to sort of be like a shepherd and occasionally help me with jobs on the farm, but because poor Sandra can't do it anymore, I can't expect Molly to help me with sort of big heavy manual jobs and things. She's brilliant, Molly. She'll help me with anything and she'll work really hard, but it shouldn't be for her to do it, should it? So I think we've all made a decision that, well, I know I have in my head, that if I can't get this place running by next year, I think I'm going to have to think about leaving it. Because it doesn't feel right that we're just sitting here and it's stagnating. I'd rather hand this place over to somebody else that's got the finances left to continue to save the place. That's how important it is to me, this farm. So anyway, enough about all this, because it probably sounds quite depressing, which is not meant to be depressing. Just that I think you'll find a lot of the other channels have been here for a couple of years, or they're very new here and they're all full of beans like we were when we came here. We've been here 8 years, you know, and we've been through a lot of stuff. Waiting 5.5 years for a court case, and you win 100,000 and you end up with nothing, and told by the courts to go whistle for your money. That was like a double kick in the kahunas. You wait 5.5 years literally sitting around doing nothing, and I'm not the sort of bloke to sit around and do nothing. That drives me crazy. I like to do things, make things happen, get things to work. That was a long time sat on my arse. So the pigs are one thing. I don't mind, you know, the pigs are turning up my grass. They haven't damaged the wall down there. That's the rain. That's a problem with the sort of the wall's got a hole in it somewhere and it's just got weaker and weaker and collapsed. This is nothing in comparison, you know. I can overseed it. It's no big deal, but big jobs like that. So as you can see, the boar have been right up here against the edge of the goats, haven't they? Do you hear them all at night? There's a tiny bit of hay left in their feeder. And I gave them 3 big bags full of hay last night, which is 1 extra bag. Because it's cold at the moment, they're overeating to keep warm. But they all seem okay. And I'm just about to feed them. Right, we've got straw on the left and we've got hay on the right. The bag's got a big hole in the bottom, but it's easier than carrying handfuls of hay. Come on, girls. Come on. If you get out of the way. Lucky. I'll put a little bit of hay down there, just if the little ones want it, so they don't have to compete against the bigger ones. Oh, now to give the boys something. I'll take the bag down there and feed the 2 boys.
I'm not sure if you can hear that. That is another band, and that is who was.
It's Casilla Branco band, and one of our subscribers, Chris Tomlinson, is playing in it. Somebody's going to go out there and see if we can film her.
So you guys are currently underneath of the counter in the hut, but Casa Creativa came by to say hello and they brought me this. Okay, so I'm gonna tap it with my phone. My phone's a little slow. I don't know if you can see that. It takes you straight to our YouTube account. I completely fangirled. I had no idea what this is, and it's so cool. It's a, bear with, it's a NFC, I believe. It has like a little microchip in it. So when I tap it against my phone, it comes up and gives me the options for internet, Chrome and YouTube, which I just think is it's really cool. So thank you so much, Casa Creativa, if you are watching. And it was really, really nice to meet all of you subscribers who came along and said hello. It was really nice to meet you all.
Eu cheguei à Quinta da Fonte da Pipa. Boa tarde. Olá, não me diga que é a Pipa.
Nós temos uma quinta lá em São Vicente, chama-se Quinta Fonte da Pipa.
Muito bem. É de São Vicente da Beira. Muito bem, boa terra. O que é que são os produtos que aqui tem?
Nós temos aqui cera da reta, é parecido com velas. Tens aquecedor, metes uma vela pequena em baixo, a cera em cima e deita uma cheira muito forte. Fica no casa linda.
Mas agradável também, porque cheira aqui de facto muito bem. As pessoas têm aderido bem?
É, eles gostam muito da cera. E as que também gostam muito das coisas que o meu pai faz aqui em Madeira.
Muito bem, tudo feito por vós?
Sim, tudo feito por nós, sim.
Muito bem. Agradeço e um bom trabalho, umas boas festas para todos. Muito obrigado. Pelas imagens também que o Ernesto está a captar, podemos já ver outro tipo de produtos que também não encontramos nesta primeira edição do Natal em Castelo Branco. É fácil gostar.
Oh, joy of joys. So, start my new day off. Looks like I'm working on the truck, trying to work out what the problem is. The girls have told me for a couple of days the oil light was flashing on the truck, and the alternator light came on, sort of the red battery light. Normally on these VWs, because I'm an ex-VW specialist, I don't even really need to look. I know what the problem is. There is a wiring loom that goes from the alternator down to the back of the starter motor. There's a red wire and a blue wire. They often get very brittle and they crack, and that will cause both of those lights to come on. Occasionally it'll come on these VWs like this due to this wire or a slightly bad connection because it's not situated in a good spot. I had a quick look last night at sort of 1:30 in the morning, hoping I could get the truck going for the girls to leave again this morning, but it was freezing cold out here, really damp because of the dew coming down. So the girls have taken the Mercedes this morning. I am about to go and do the goats, and then when I get back I'll start pulling this apart and see if I can find the problem. Oh joy. One good thing, what a lovely day. I should have put my sunglasses on. And as you saw the other day, there was a large granite pillar there, and I woke up at 2:30 in the morning thinking, oh my god, that one is connected to this one with this wire, which is extremely strong wire. And you can see I came along and I cut it, and as I cut it, that whole brick section you saw earlier fell on the ground. And the worst part for me is it shattered the granite post into 3 pieces. Yeah, so what a mess. I'm absolutely gutted. There's the base and there's the 2 bits, and I just watched it fall in slow motion and shatter in front of me. It really has taken quite a bit of this away. It's very soft here, and if I don't get onto this very quickly, all this is just going to wash down there. Rain is really what causes, you know, a lot of the problems, because when it rains here, oh, it rains. Right, well, this little lot look a little bit keen to come out, don't you? Oh. Oh, you can see a lot of, look at her head, bloody spots on her head. Flow here, the brown and white, she's got the same on her head. There's a lot of headbutting going on at the moment, a lot of changing of position since we got rid of some of the other goats. Yeah, another bash on the head for somebody. So they'll sort themselves out. Come on, ladies. There they go. God, the place is looking like a mess. Oh, I've got so much to do. So that's the girls out for their morning run around. They'll probably wander back in about an hour and a half, 2 hours when they've had a graze, and then they'll go back out again this afternoon. Now I've got to have a look at this truck. Last night, that's the battery I bought, my God, 2 years ago. I've only been out on that boat 4 times. So I put that on charge last night. Some of my battery chargers left over from my garage days. Let's hope this is going to have taken a charge. It should do, because it's not been used a lot, but that's always not a good thing for a battery, not to get used a lot. They die. So fingers crossed this hasn't yet. Well, time to hook this up. Just a quick tip for anybody. If your vehicle has got a flat battery and you're going to use jump leads to start it, and the battery's very, very flat, you put the positive on the battery and you put the negative to the chassis or to the side of the engine, like I've got there. And the reason you do that is if that battery is flat, it'll act like a sponge, and the good power that comes out of that will partially go into there, stay in that battery, and then go straight through to the what's little voltage rather, will go through to the starter motor. If you earth it to that, it's just putting power into just to the wires, not into the battery, because I haven't connected the earth to it, although it is in a loop. But just believe me, that will make extra power, not extra power, but it'll give you as close to as much power as coming out of that straight to your starter motor. And being as it's very cold, and I'm going to need to use the glow plugs to get the thing started, a couple of clicks of the glow plugs, that pulls a lot of power. If you've got a weak battery, that's often enough to knock the guts out of the battery, that when you try and start it, you'll get which is all we've got out of this. And I need to get this running so I can see if the alternator's actually putting out a charge, and if it is, then the alternator's fine and it'll just be down to the wire problem. But because the girls just came home and told me that's what's happened, I've got a couple of tests to do before I know exactly what's wrong with it. So I'll get on with those and I'll tell you what I find. I'm just going to check to see if we've actually got, if this is charged up. Yesterday this was at about 11 volts, which is very, very flat. I'm holding the camera between my knees. You see that's 13.26. That's a healthy battery. Everyone thinks a 12 volt battery is actually 12 volts. It's not. A fully charged 12 volt battery, God, I'm sorry this is shaking the muscles in my thighs are twitching. So a normal car 12 volt battery isn't actually 12 volts, it is 13.2, so that's a fully charged battery. So that should have a good bit of punch in it. Let's connect that to there. And it's gone down to 12.9, so the ignition must be on, which is good. It means it's linked up. All right. Got the glow plugs, the yellow light, and one more. Oh, I hope it's not the alternator. Cool. Ah, that's not good. That's a very, very, very flat. Come on, girl. Oh, so close. Now that was so close, if I leave it 5 minutes or a couple of minutes, the charge will grow again in the battery, and I might be able to get this just to fire up. That was very close. Because of that, I'll make sure everything is in a good position. That could probably go on a better earth, but there isn't much in this engine bay. Oh well, put that back on there again. Alright, that should be connected well. Giving them a little twist so they cut into some fresh lead on the posts. not too much because I don't want to destroy the posts. Oh, and this is the same battery, and this is God knows when I actually bought this. I normally write the date on them, so I don't know, but again, it's a calcium battery. It's meant to be very good, and it wasn't cheap. Come on, lovely truck, I love you. I'm going to give it 2 glow plugs again, because the warmer the engine is, the less help it will need to start. That's flat. Thing is, I just told you about the battery. It's one thing reading 12.6. Let's take that off. Yeah, okay, 12.8, which is still good. 12.8's like a good charged battery, where it was 13 something. It's called a surface charge, and normally that's because it's been on a battery charger. It's been charged right sort of almost like 102% of the capacity of the battery. It rams the power in there, and what you would normally do before I would do a test on a battery like this is I would charge it for 12 hours. I would then remove the surface charge by flicking a starter motor across it a couple of times, or running a powerful lamp off of it for a few seconds, which will bring the voltage down, and remove that surface charge. Then I'll test it. And what I'm not really understanding here is this is looking like a good battery. I might go and get my actual battery tester out in a second. So that's looking good. So I would say I'm not getting a very good connection from the cables. Well, I can hear it sparking when it's contacting, so it's the system's drawing the power. And the trouble is, when you look at a set of leads, that they're literally just touching on one edge. Can you just see? Sorry, this camera. Can you see that? They're literally sitting on a couple of millimeters of contact. Even if I put them like that, you're only getting that very edge touching the battery. What I'm going to try is, because that doesn't look like an amazing earth, I'm going to put that on the battery. Yeah. So after everything I've just told you about going for the earth on the chassis, I'm going to try it on the battery, just because it's got a thick cable which goes only about a foot to the chassis, whereas that little bracket's very thin. Let's have another go. Come on, lovely lady, you can do this. You can do this. Oh, definitely a bit more power out of it then. Alright, if this carries on for much longer, I'll take the other battery out. It's obviously not getting a good connection through the jump leads. Oh, nope. That's pretty crazy. Alright, go and get some tools. Well, I've got my tester now connected to this battery, and that's called a carbon pile tester. And what that does is, inside there are discs of carbon, and when I screw this in, it pushes the plates together like that, and the more that connect, the bigger resistance it makes. Now what I need to do 95 amp hours, that is 95. I need to write that on there before the sticker disintegrates. So I need to wind that up to half of it. So I'm going to go to 45 in the green there. So, and you watch that, whether that needle drops. Basically this is replicating something like your starter motor, which draws 60-80 amps. So as I wind that up to 45, that's staying in the green zone until it buzzes. This is actually letting off a smoke now, where those carbon piles are getting hot, making a resistance. There we go, and it's passed, it's in the green. Yeah, you see the smoke coming out of it. Good for warming your hands on. So this battery's tip top. I can't check that one until I've charged it. You can't check a flat battery, it doesn't work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the battery terminals off the battery, and I'm going to hook them straight to the jump leads and take the flat battery out of the equation and see if we get a little bit of a better connection. Back to the negative, red to the positive. Now I'm getting a better clamp across there. Let's see if that spins over a bit better this time. I'm going to give it 2 glow plugs because it nearly went last time. So hopefully if it just spins it quick enough, it'll start. Oh dear, oh dear. Well, I think my extension leads might have had it, my jump leads. Even though I bought those in the UK and they were 85 quid, those leads. I bought those in the last couple of years having a garage, so I remember exactly what I paid for them because I nearly blacked out in the shop. Right, okay, let's get this one in the truck. So that's the bigger battery in there. Let's give that a go. Come on. Ay, 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 ay. Normally this thing starts on the button. Like that. That other battery is what you might call very flat. Right. Oil light is flashing. The battery no charge light is on, which means there's a problem with your alternator. The light on the right is literally just the handbrake. No, the alternator's dead. I'm getting 11.8 volts, which means the alternator's not charging. Wonderful! Oh well, that's about right. We earned some money, now we've got to spend it. Oh, that's just great, isn't it? Oh, at least on the positive side, the battery should be fine. So I'm just going to put this in my workshop and put that on charge, so we don't lose the battery, because you don't want to leave batteries discharged because then they die. Now let's get this battery back on charge. And this battery charger will actually start cars. I mean, if I click it that way, it puts out 140, there you go, start 140 amps. Because your average starter motor will pull about 60 amps, so on charge it puts out 40. So when I click this round, you start feeling the dial go up. There you go. That's pulling in 10 amps now into there. Let's just hope we can whack some charge into this battery and bring that back to life, because again, that should be, it's a calcium battery, they last a bit longer than lead batteries. And I'm just going to go and double check the wiring on the truck, but I looked yesterday, there was no broken wires or anything like that, and an alternator circuit is really simple. So I think we got a duff alternator.
Good morning. We're running a little late this morning.
A little?
Yeah, we got home at 1:30 this morning. We had real problems with the truck.
I need to sneeze.
Bless you. Got stopped by the GNR on the way home and breathalyzed. Luckily, I don't drink.
But normally when we get pulled over, it takes ages. Because we didn't have our, what they call?
But we've now got our biometric cards.
Yeah,
so
which we didn't have
so much quicker with the GNR. They just accept that and your driving licence and just check that your vehicle's
taxed,
MOT'd and insured. So it wasn't a long stop, but I did get breathalyzed.
But
unfortunately,
yeah. Oh, as you can tell, we're not in our car.
We're not in our car. We've had to borrow our amazing Patreon, Sean. Daniela's getting a run today. I'm really sorry, Sean, but it looks like the alternator's gone on the truck. She just won't start this morning. So
we've worked all of the markets.
All of the markets, so we can have Christmas. But
we're getting an alternator instead.
Woohoo!
That's exactly what we wanted for Christmas this year.
But yeah, we want to say thank you to like all the people that came in yesterday, that have YouTube channels, people that subscribe and watch us. You know, it's really, really lovely to meet you guys. We really do appreciate it.
And especially like how close you guys are as well. But some of you guys were from Sintra and really quite far away. You travelled quite a way to see us, so thank you very, very much.
So we're on our way there again today. We're there till 8.
Yeah, so it's not too bad.
It's not so bad.
But we need to pack everything up in the hut and take it home because we don't want anything getting stolen. There is security, but it's Monday through to Friday. Exactly.
and then we're back there on
the 23rd and the 24th.
So yeah, we'll try and film anything that happens today, but right now, wow, we're dead.
Yeah.
We are literally
Sorry,
dead
I'm
this
very
morning.
ill.
So we've left Alex at home, seeing what he can do with the truck, but he's not very well. He's got
he's
a
cold.
cough. So yes, we'll hopefully film what's going on later.
But there isn't much point filming us in the hut because it's not exactly very interesting, is
No,
it?
it's not very exciting.
Just sat there smiling at lots of people walking past and hoping that someone comes in. So let's hope today's better because it's
The
actually
sun is shining.
like
yes.
I'm actually in my sunglasses. It's quite warm today. I wouldn't say warm, but it's warmer than it has been for the last market days, which fingers crossed. I'm hoping the 23rd and 24th is going to be busy because I think that's mainly going to be husbands that have, oh no, I've forgotten, and are leaving work. And
Well, we haven't done
through.
any Christmas shopping.
No.
Well, not looking good.
It's
for
not
us.
going to happen.
No, so looks like Christmas is cancelled at Fonte Pipa. Evita.
Evie, that's life. Hey, maybe some Brussels sprouts with bacon. That'll be our Christmas dinner.
Yeah, that'll do.
It's probably all we'll have time for after packing everything up, putting everything back in the house, taking everything out of the hut.
And I have hospital in between now and
Yeah,
Christmas as well.
so I probably might need to make a few more wax melts for the next
last-
weekend? Yeah, it's next,
Yeah, it's Friday,
yeah.
Saturday. Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah. We'll see how it goes and we'll update you and we'll let you know how things are going. No, they were cool.
They were really good.
Oh, and I think I've got rain on the lens. Sorry about that.
And Sandra has said a few times the last week, even I noticed one day when I used it, it was just a little bit slower than normal turning over before it started, so the alternator's probably been dying for a little while. So we'll have to go and have a look and see what I can find. So it's the following day. The girls were in Castelo Branco yesterday. They had to use the Mercedes because obviously there's a problem with the truck here. I don't know, about midday I get a phone call from Molly and the Mercedes has broken down. you couldn't believe it, could you? I've got no vehicle to go and see them and the Mercedes has sprung a diesel leak in the middle of Castelo Branco. I got Molly to show me the top of the engine, etc., via a live video chat, and I sort of managed to work out what was actually wrong with it. And thankfully, I think some of you will remember when we had Ollie and Yana staying with us for a few months back in the summer. Well, they've been away and they've come back to Portugal and they were in Castelo Branco, and Sandra, just before she pulled over with the Mercedes, she saw their truck on the side of the road and she pulled over and managed to find Ollie, and Ollie very, very kindly drove his dirty great truck, a big HGV truck with a big trailer on the back, and he drove it through CB. I'm imagining he had a lot of problems trying to park that thing because it's very, very long, about 10 meters long I should think. He managed to go and pick up the new pipe and a little sort of a bung stop that goes on the end of the injection system, and the girls managed to get home on their own with no more fuel leak. And when the vehicle came back, I've had to check it over. But I'm going to put on the screen here somewhere, if there's a bit of space, I rang up and I got the price for a new alternator, 195 euros. But because this is what I do for a living, basically an alternator is basically just a motor, and as it spins round by the engine running, it creates power. And this little part here is called a voltage regulator, and unless your alternator is making a horrible squealing noise because it's got a worn out ball bearing in there, which again I can also go and buy those for about €2. The best quality NGK bearings in the world will cost you about €2 for an alternator. I can dismantle the alternator, take the bearings out and replace them, and so long as the electrical windings inside them are still okay, which they generally are for 3 lives of an alternator, the windings inside will be alright. This little part is called a voltage regulator, and basically that little black cap on the end there will burn out after some time. Inside this black bit here are 2 brushes which sit on the armature of the motor inside the alternator, and this is what has blown, and I bought this for the huge amount of money of €14. So when you guys go to garages and you say there's something wrong with your alternator and they say it needs to be replaced, you can always ask if they're capable of doing it, because not a lot of garages, some will actually refuse to do it or make out like they won't do it, because then they make £35 profit on selling you the actual alternator plus the work doing it. If you go to a good mechanic like I used to be, we'd fit and repair your alternator. Yes, we'd charge you a few quid to fit it, but if you were paying 195 for a new alternator and we repaired yours, you'd probably pay us €60, including the part. So I'm going to fit that. Obviously I think you can see behind me it's horrible again today. It's not actually raining at this very moment, but it has been. It's spitting with mist and rain, and it's just generally pretty horrible. So I'll get this fixed, and then you will probably see, it's probably going to be the new year by the time we get another video out, so you'll see hopefully, and I'll give you an update and tell you that this is all fixed. So let me go and get on with it.
Okay, so it's Christmas Eve. Molly and I are just off to the Christmas market for our last shift.
I'm off up to do the goats.
Yesterday we didn't have to start work till 5, so we thought, that gives us time to get a little bit of Christmas prep done. Clean the house, just, catch up on the washing. But unfortunately, Eddie had other ideas.
Yeah, poor old Eddie's been not well. I'm sorry to say Eddie's not well. Don't know if you can see, he's shaking. I think he's been poisoned because he's not moved, or if he's moved it's very little. He's not interested in going out with the girls and going for a wee. He's been throwing up constantly throughout the night, so we're about to take him to the vet. So come on mate, good boy. Good boy, Eddie. So, but we've got to wait an hour before we can take him. I woke up in the morning and I put my hand on his back, and I actually thought he'd left us. His back was all rigid, his muscles were stiff. So, well, the girls took him to the vet.
Yeah, we took him to the vets yesterday, and they kept him in, put him on a drip. And asked us if we could leave him there for the day, that was okay, but the problem we had, We had work at 5 o'clock. And they finally let us collect him at 7. So Molly had to stay at the market on her own. And then, blessed little Eddie, he came to the market.
And he was wrapped up in his little Christmassy blanket.
Christmas blanket in the little hut with
Yeah.
us. And everybody loved him, which was really nice.
Everybody loves Eddie.
Yeah. And touch wood, he's got some medication, but the vet seems to think that he was poisoned.
He's either eaten something bad or he's been poisoned, and considering the other 2 dogs, there's nothing wrong with them. When they bring back a leg or something like that that one of the hunters has left in the forest, they'll all share it and all eat it, and they never normally get any problems. So I just hope he hasn't eaten some poison. Apparently you said she was a bit concerned about his liver.
Yeah, his liver.
And producing a lot of white blood cells, which is not good apparently. So
He's come home with lots of medication he has to have.
But he's woken up bright this morning,
Yeah,
and
which
he's
is
run
good.
out the door with the girls. So fingers crossed, old Eddie's going to be all right, because he's a lovely dog.
He is currently asleep on my bed after he's had his medication. He's a bit tired still.
So we'd all like to say thank you very much, Gerhard. Everything you've done for us all year has been absolutely amazing. I can't believe the amount of stuff that you've sent us. So we're wishing you, your family, all your cats and everything else an extra special Super Christmas. Thank you so much.
And to everyone that supported us this year, buy me a coffee, PayPal, sponsoring goats, come and see Molly at the Christmas market, buying some of her stuff.
Thank you all
You know,
so much.
Thank you all so much.
You've had a lot of people come and visit, haven't
Yeah,
you?
lots of people.
So I kind of wish I'd been there, but with dogs and goats and everything else,
Someone
Someone has to stay here, yeah.
someone's got to be here. So
So we want to wish you all a Merry Christmas and thank you for watching this week's video. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and we will see you back here in the new year.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.